Okay, so here we are. It's Friday afternoon. Yes, Friday afternoon here in Hawaii. We're in Honolulu. We're at the Frat House, as it's become known, which is where a few of the We Paddle crew are staying. And I'm interviewing Lowe here, Ross Peasnell here, two lads from where I'm from, which is down Torquay Anglesey Way, down on the west coast of Victoria, or the west coast of the bay, which is basically the surf coast in Victoria, near Bells Beach. We often paddle past Bells and along the Great Ocean Road and what have you. And I'm interviewing the lads. These guys move pretty well, and they Nick's only 22, so he's one of the young up and comers. And Roscoe's he's old like me. We're in the 50 plus division, so we're the senior division. And but Roscoe's done a lot of life saving over the years and won a few medals at nationals in life saving, masters and things like that. And so he moves along all right. And young Nicky's he's going good, mate. He's an up and comer. So they'll have a bit of a go in the race. I'm not going to make too many forecasts, but I think that they can be somewhere around top 20 somewhere without putting too much pressure on them. So anyway, but what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk a little bit about Molokai, and then I'm going to ask you about what you got coming up after this, because they've got a bit of a mission after this. They're going on a trip to Alaska and paddling in Alaska and camping and paddling and avoiding bears and what have you. And then after the Alaskan paddle, Nick's then going to Canadian Nationals and the Gorge race. So we'll have a chat about that. So how's the preparation going for Molokai, boys?
Yeah, good. It's been a long time coming. It's been a grind to do all the training, and it's getting a bit colder in Victoria, so the last couple of weeks were a little bit fresh, but I'm glad we did a lot of the work before it got too cold, so it's been good. But I'm glad it's here, and I'll be glad to stop training. Yeah,
that's the last few weeks from where we come from. It's sort of after Easter it starts to cool down a fair bit. In the last sort of few weeks we were out with our, I'll give Vycobia a plug, we're out with our V-Cold gear.
Great stuff.
It was it was starting to get pretty cool, but it also is a time of year, our winter, where the surf gets pretty good. So there's a trade-off: good surf, but cold. So yeah, it's nice to get here, but we try to get here a week early to get used to the warmth and the humidity, because it's a bit of a shock to the system when we first get here. Rightio. So these guys have actually been on an interview I already did in a pub a few weeks back in Geelong, where we're from, but we're over here now. I said that Roscoe he goes a lot better than he'll talk himself down, and it's hard to get too many words out of young Nick. So he goes pretty good, but he won't say too much. So how are you feeling, Nick?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's been a long time to come in this race. We've been training since the start of the year for it. So did a lot of the distance early, and we kept it up, but we did a fair bit of the solid work early on, and kind of kept it rolling through and started doing a bit of shorter stuff the last couple of weeks just to keep the body going. So feeling ready for the race and just keen to get it done, really.
We had a few good paddlebacks towards the end of the year, some good wins on the bay and in the ocean. One of the ones from Anglesey to Torquay, and the odd one from Lowe to Torquay, which is about a 40k. So a few good paddlebacks.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I was pretty stoked. These guys weren't coming because they're preparing for the trip, the Alaskan trip. And then the decision from their coach, who refused to be a part of this interview, Chris Porter, who's here with us, the decision was that they'd come to Alaska via Molokai. So a bit different. The Alaskan trip is a trek or a touring type thing where they, just covering distance each day, camping overnight, what have you. But this is a bit different, so they decided to come to Molokai. So we've got a big troop over here from our neck of the woods. So and it got a few really good guys training in the group and pushing them along. So we're looking forward to a bit of wind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's very different to what we're expecting in Alaska too. So the weather. It's been quite interesting to get your head around, what the weather's going to be like here, and then obviously getting to Alaska and having completely different weather and conditions. So, yeah.
But we get used to where we're from. We get a fair bit of ground swell, so we've got no problem with there being a bit of swell, and we would like a bit of wind. We found that last Sunday doing the Makapuu Dash, the backwash off the cliff was pretty hard. We don't have any of that at home, so that was pretty tricky. But out in the middle of the channel, we like a bit of wind, so hoping that it blows fairly strongly. So All right, tell me a little bit more about the Alaskan mission.
Yeah, what do you want to go, Nick?
So we fly straight across. We're going to Seattle, then up to Sitka. When we land in Sitka, we've got about 14 days of paddling. We're hoping to go from Sitka up to Gustavus on the outside of the coast and then back on the inside passage. But depending on weather, we'll decide which way we actually go in terms of that. We'll be averaging roughly 20 to 40 kilometres a day on that trip, which will be a good 6 to 8 hours of paddling a day. It'll be pretty different to being over here in Hawaii where it's nice and warm, to going across Sitka in Alaska where it's going to be days anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go further and further up, it's going to get colder and colder, so we're expecting to see the terrain change a bit and some snow-covered mountains, and make sure we don't get eaten by bears and orca whales and stuff like that. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be good.
Fantastic.
It's going to be completely different, from a sort of a hard training session, this block, for Molokai, and then turning it into more of a relaxation and an adventure type of trip. So it'll be good. Are
you looking forward to any of the most, or are you just each as it comes?
Oh, I think, initially I had a lot of sort of, Molokai was a built up, and it was all about a race and the anxiety associated with that. And now that I'm here, I've just enjoyed the experience, and it's been a lot of fun. So I don't have a problem with this now. I think it's more about the two, trying to combine the two together and pack accordingly and try to get your head around what you need for the Alaska trip and then what you need for Molokai. So I think
different bags,
and I think now that Molokai is really close, I think I'm going to enjoy the race, and then I'm going to have to switch the mind over and get ready for the Alaska trip. So very different. So
how are you feeling about the coming race on Sunday, Nick?
Yeah, I'm excited for the race. The forecast looks alright, so up to hopefully 15-20 knots of wind out there, which will be heaps of fun. Hopefully
bigger the better.
Pushes up some swell, and we get across the channel nice and quick. If it was hot and flat, I'd probably want to go home and not do the race, to be honest. I would prefer to have
it's hard work.
Some decent swell pushing us along to make it interesting, a bit more fun.
Yeah. And what you were saying before, Roscoe, I'll just bring it back to that. Once you get over here and you do the paddlebacks during the week, I've had over the years, people come over and it's all about the race, and then once they get here, they get to the end of the week and say, if we don't do the race, this has been awesome anyway.
Absolutely.
Just hanging out, doing the paddlebacks.
Yeah, and I heard that from people who did it last year. Everyone said, I had more fun doing the paddlebacks, and I've done one every day since I've been here, and even this morning, it was like, is anyone else doing one? And they're like, oh no, we're done. And I'm like, I'm just going to go and do one myself, and I just went out there and just enjoyed it. We don't get those type of paddlebacks directly behind you in Victoria that much. They're normally coming from your left shoulder or your right shoulder. So just to sit there and go, all right, well, I've just got to enjoy the ride. It was good fun.
Yep.
So.
Great. And Nicky, you've decided one thing. Nick was doing training for lifesaving for the adventures, and then since he's been it's been the last 6-9 months, you've done a bit of training with the Westcoast Paddlers. Down the coast, and joined in a little bit, and I see sort of the ocean paddling is a little bit of a fire in you, and you seem to have really enjoyed it. And now you're going to go and do the US and the Canadian Nationals.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll give him a bit of a plug. Stella have looked after him over there as well, so he's on an SES XL. So thanks, guys. So you excited?
Yeah, really excited. The cool thing about the downwinder races is that there's different ones all around the world. So you're able to see the world and go and experience different things, but also get a paddle in and a race in. So I just love the downwind stuff. Heaps of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's not always sheep stations.
Nah, that's it. Anything can happen out there. If it was just a grind every paddle, it wouldn't be quite as interesting. But heaps of fun, and I get to go and check out Canada and some of the US as well, which would be awesome, as well as Alaska. So big trip.
Great. Now, one other thing that I will mention, and we won't keep it going for too long, I'm going to briefly ask Nick. Nick has had a few challenges over the years, and he's now, part of his paddling is to paddle for mental health, and he's got a bit of a cause going and raising funds for paddling for mental health. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Nick?
Yeah, so in the past, training for all different adventure races and endurance sports, I ended up developing a very sports-based sort of eating disorder, where I was just pushing my body too hard all the time and not getting enough food in. Kind of consumed me for a couple of years. Ended up pretty sick. So since recovering, I've wanted to be able to give back a little bit and get people talking more about mental health, because there's a fair bit of a taboo around it, especially within men. So the idea was just for a young male, I guess, to get out there and chat a bit about it, and hopefully, get other people talking as well. Try to break down the stigma that's involved.
Awesome. He's done an amazing job recovering, firstly, and what he's done and what he's doing to spread the word. So, well done, lad.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
And well, good luck for the race, boys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Any predictions how you'll go, or is it?
Yeah, I'm going to finish. That's the aim. I'm going to finish.
Anyone you want to send out a message to that you're out to get him, or anyone, Nick? Or?
Nah, just a good experience.
No messages to Hank or anyone like that, or to Corey?
No, we'll bet him eventually.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Cheers.
All right, thank you.